'Tis that time of year again. For it was the night before Dankmas. But before we get to the story, I'm going to take a minute and just say hi to everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Thank you to those of you who are waiting for the show. The 3 people who actually noticed the notification. And that's our fault. Uncle Potsquatch hasn't been releasing tons of things, but that's okay. We're getting there. In the new year, well, it is my hope and my endeavor to do a few plans for you. But for now, this is the time of the year, whether you're with your loved ones, honestly, probably most of us who are watching this show aren't. But my friends, my family, it is a Christmas time. 'Twas the night before Dankmas, and I send out my love to each and every one of you. What's up, Daniel Andrassi? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Alvin Mace? Good to see you. Soul Price, my brother. Wave hand emoticon to you. I've been watching Harold and Kumar movies because there's great, and I love Wafflebot. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading everyone's message real quick here. What is up, Grow Fams? What's up, Soul Price? All right. There's a bunch of things I wasn't noticing. I'm going to also change the chat filter to all messages. That way I see everybody's things. Bear with me. All right, my friends and family, I've got the phone set back a little bit, so it's harder for me to read the screen. We will get to the formal part of the show where I read "Twas the Night Before Dankmas." It's funny. I'll share a funny story before we do it. It's like last 3 years we've been doing it since the separation. I think it's been 3 now at least. And I forget to rewrite the lines that were kind of dirty reference lines to my previous partner. And I kind of try to make it up in the show. And I'm like, okay, let's roll with it in the moment. I almost forgot this year. And minutes before the show, I looked at him like, okay, puppies, you can come say hi in a second. They're here too. And so I've rewritten the lines. We'll see how it goes. You know, we took out the dirty joke. Come here, puppies. Come say hello to everyone. It's the night before Dankmas. Come here, babies. There we go. There we go. Relax. There we go. There we go. Here's Uncle Potsquatch's babies. These are the happy little things. Yes, I love you too. In the background of the show, when you hear them yapping, these are silly little idiots. This is I was going to say Medway, Mogwai, and this is Black Betty. All right, puppies, I'll call you in a minute. We have to do a brief show with people. I'll try to pet you and do the show at the same time. All right. So anyway, back to the story. Everybody, it's been another year. It's been a crazy year. We're slowly ending it. Today is New Year's Eve. No, it's not. It's Christmas Eve. I've been doing that all day. And I'm like, wow, I'm so focused on the new year, the new coming year. But it is Christmas Eve, everyone. And whether you're with friends and family or all by yourself, I'm glad you're joining us here tonight. And we are with you from Potsquatch Growers. In the new year, we will be also growing. We will get weed titties going again. We will show you the dance of Dankmas, of where marijuana comes from. But, my friends, my family, tonight we tell the story of 'Twas the Night Before Dankmas. Puppies, I'll pitch you in a minute. Who's ready for the story? I think I'm ready for the story. All right, everyone. It is time for 'Twas the Night Before Dankmas. see if I can get a better camera angle here. Ladies and gentlemen, reading by the digital fire, Uncle Potsquatch brings to you the reading of Twas the Night Before Dankmas, 2025. 'Twas the night before Dankmas, and all through the grove, not a worker was working, not even a Potsquatch on the go. The weed titties were not hung by the chimney with care, for we all know drying weed titties requires cold air. The seedlings were nestled all sweet in their garden beds, while visions of pollen plums danced in their heads. The puppies in their sweaters, and I in my house coat, house coat, had just retired to the boudoir for a long winter's nap, when out on the lawn arose something louder, so I sprang to the yard to see what was the matter. Away to the grove I flew in a dash to make sure it was okay before I fucked up the motherfucker who tried to fuck with my stash. You get older and you're like, Uncle me was silly. I'll still fuck the motherfucker up, though. The squelch lit on the weed titties, the tracks did doth grow. Would a motherfucker up in two tokes and no mo? My God, we've got to rewrite that verse, I think, for next year as well. When what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. A little old mofo, not red-eyed, but eyes clear and straight. I knew in a moment this motherfucker must not be baked. More rapid than Popo, his coursers they came, and then Potsquatch decided to call them by his decided name. Now Dabber, now Spliffer, on Bonger, on Blunston, on Chronic, on Dankest, on Indica, in Crunksum. To the top of the bag, to the buster with y'all, and now dab away, dab away, dab away all. As dry weed titty leaves about to get that bong fried, when they met to the flame and floated into the sky. So up to the smoke top, the smoke it doth did fly true. With his bag full of buds, Potsquatch got Saint Nick fucked up too. And then, on an inkling, I turned to this goof, and at his coughing and crying at each little hoot, as I had a blunt in my hand and couldn't believe what I found. Down on his fat ass, that fuck fell to the ground. He was pale and he's sweaty from his head down to his foot, with the joint in mouth that in which he had just earlier partook. In the grow, he had just flopped down on his back, and he looked like a noob token on his first sack. His eyes, how red, he was fucked up, it was scary. He was so fucked up, and I was starting to get wary. He was drooling at the mouth as he twitched on the floor. And I thought to myself, this motherfucker shouldn't be smoking no more. The tiny little roach he held clenching his teeth, and his head, it was smoked out from my dank motherfucking reef. At this moment, I realized that what I must do, so I climbed into a sleigh to bring my dank reef to each and all of you. I smoked not a dab, but went straight to my work and scaled all the ounces to fill the people with mirth. And lighting up a doob on my way, I did goes and I flew away on his sleigh to bring weed titties to y'all mofo. That's the best part of the rhyme of the whole story, I think. I was up in his sleigh and I gave to the team a blunt tizzle, and away they all flew because, man, my shit is a crunk kizzle. Well, they did hear me cough as I hooted my pipe and I said, This part I can get on board with. Merry Christmas to all you motherfuckers. And to all, a very dank night. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this every year, and we did a quick line abbreviation minutes before the show to mitigate certain things that trip me up from years gone by. But my God, there's certain verses I think my stupid ass could rewrite better. So tune in to next year's reading of the Twas the Night Before Dankmas 2026. Maybe I'll remember year 5. Maybe we need to rework this. Maybe year 4 or 5, something like that. But don't worry, I'm going to keep the show going for a minute there. We're going to pop into old school basic show. I'm going to read people's comments and say hi to everybody quickly. Just a moment here. All right. I'm going to turn some lights on too. The moody shit is done. You've seen the reading of Twas the Night Before Dankmas. Ooh, there we go. And now I can actually see people and read their shit. One second here, everybody. I'm just reading back on the things of everybody. Dude, Kishan Alex R6X. Merry Christmas back to Trinidad. Hell yeah, brother. If you're still in the show, how hot is it in the Trinidad right now? My God. Trinidadian era. How hot is it? Dude, Roman Reckless. Good to see you, buddy. We just finished doing the reading of Twas the Night Before Dankmas. And now we are just going to do a bit of a hello, meet and greet for a bit and chat like we used to. I won't lie to you. I'm excited to actually, it's good. We'll start small. I mean, I've been frustrated with the not having space and not being able to do things, and it's frustrated me. I distracted myself for the last few grows on like doing something weird and fun, and I was like, "Yay, that's a cool thing!" But I think I've gotten over that too. So we're gonna do 2 grows on the new start, and I made a promise to Texas Squatch. He's been having some issues in popping certain generations of his beans. I actually happen to be in possession of a bunch of those. And so he wanted me to try to grow those and see if we can make those autos successful. So we're going to do that for Texas Squatch. We made a promise. But I'm also going to pop some other shit. So we're going to have to get 2 little areas somehow in my overcramped house going. But we're going to do it. And we're going to do it in the new year for everybody. It's going to be a good time. My goodness. Merry Christmas back to Florida. Merry Christmas to anyone who's from anywhere, by the way. Bear with me, I'm just reading. Can you wish Bella and Vince a Merry Christmas from the Spetty family? Spetty Bite, I wish to Bella and Vince a Merry Christmas from the Spetty family. If I'm mispronouncing that name, I apologize. I am doing my best. Soul prices like autos finally, motherfucker. Laugh out loud. Yes, well, also too, it's not what I like. Everybody knows that. I've been resisting this for a decade now. I've talked about it a billion times, and I'm like, well, eventually, Uncle Potsquatch, we'll do some autoflies. We'll do it. But our fellow Potsquatch has asked me to try to pop a bunch of them and see what happens. And I made that agreement to my fellow Potsquatch. So we will do this. I don't like autos. We're going to do it. But I'm also going to pop some other shit, though, too. Jason Anderson says, can you wish Merry Christmas to Jessica from Florida? Yes, I can, Jason Anderson, 5320. I wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to Jessica from Florida. I have a weird feeling there might be a lot of Jessicas in Florida. So if you're that Jessica and you're watching this, well, Jessica from Florida, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Soul Price. I know, I know. Ever since I've been here, you've never run any. And I'm like, always say do it, and you don't do it. Well, you did say I don't do it at the end, but I haven't done it. I've talked about it a lot, and I'll do it for Mikey. I'll do it for Texas Squatch. We're going to conduct an experiment from the very limited, tiny facilities of the new Potsquatch world, which is, funnily enough, the origin story apartment where we started all this shit. So, but I'm also going to pop some other shit. I'm going to do some photos while we're doing that because I'm willing to do that for my fellow Potsquatch, but I got to make sure I got something going that's going to be acceptable to me. Not saying that it might not be beautiful. It might work out beautifully. I don't know, but just being safe. No worries at all, Jason Anderson, 5320. I hope Jessica from Florida is touched by said randomosity. Oh my God! This balding, pale motherfucker who makes movies occasionally and fixes things and grows dope and toxic weird sounds on the internet. Wishing you Merry Christmas. Sorry, I'm just having fun with it all, baby. So, Jessica from Florida, happy goddamn Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. If anyone else wants one of those, I can do it to you too. Just say Potsquatch. Wish a Merry Christmas to such and such, etc. And I'll do it right now. Just got a typey on your shit. I apologize that we haven't been releasing a lot of content. I was on vacation for a few weeks. It was nice, but draining. Visiting friends and family and all that, you know how it is. So I'm slowly building up to really get some content going again. I'm basically just going to work my job and grow dope like we used to. And then I've got to shoot a movie later in the year, but we'll deal with that when that comes. Felicia Casper, Skimpy Limpy, Merry Christmas to you, dear girl. May the coming new year bring happy chapters and wonder and beauty for you. Oh shit. So Daniel Andrassy, so I'm happy to do so, but I'm also not an ignoramus. So I'll take your word of thing. What did the special famous YouTuber of your hood do on YouTube? Whom were they? Gotta be careful in this day and age. You know, some people are kind of psychos. I don't typically reference things on my show blindly, but I will respectfully ask for your description on that, and I will do so. George W. Cush. Hello, guys. What's up, yo? How you doing? How you doing, George W. Cush? Hello, guys. Dude, Merry Christmas back to Mendo. Oh, cool. I've just used my phone to do the show, so like when everyone does like emoticons and stuff, I get excited. All right, cool. I may not be as fancy of a show, but at least I can tell you how to grow weed. And I'll give you my humble 2 cents on other things too. Much love back to you, Felicia. He was a famous vlogger. Okay. What did he vlog about? Roman Reckless, I second this general motif, and I hope everyone else is having a wonderful Christmas or holiday time. And I hope those who are with their friends and family have a wonderful experience, and those of us who are alone know that you're not alone, and we're all together. Heart, soul, it's Christmas. We are the humanity that aren't dumbasses. We don't have to agree, but we all love and we're, realistic. Excuse me. And there was the foundational work of how world chief, world peace was actually accomplished. But it's been a long time, everybody. Miss Case Garden, good to see you. I'm sorry you weren't here for the initial reading. We tried to do some rewrites, and I think there's some other rewrites. I think next year we got to rewrite the whole thing and tape a new version of that story into the old Grow How book there. But it's nice to do it, and it's nice to be back and say hi to everybody. We're gonna get some plants going in the new year, everybody. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fun. Climatizing to work for the man has been more of a thing than I thought. Most of the time when we're doing the show, as a bartender, yeah, and I almost worked the same amount of hours, but it was a different type of work, different type of hours. It was easier to be a Potsquatch in that world. Now I work for a corporate world, and I fix things. But it's pretty comfortable settle out after a couple of years. So I said, let's grow some weed again. Daniel Adrassi says, ever flogged about anything and everything, anything to do with this country. He went and brought people along for his adventures. So Daniel, retype the name. As my only thing is like I have a huge care for the loss of any human life, but given the weird world things, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to say statement. I don't know their content. I don't know this person. I am wishing this for my love for humanity and blind things. And if he was dope as shit and I agree with him, then I mean it even more because, love people you respect. But I don't know this person, but I'm happy to honor them because I respect the loss of human life. Daniel, none of that moves forward. Roman Reckless says, we got to get back to a live a week, bud. I don't disagree with you, Roman. I don't disagree with you, bud. It'd be nice to have that part come back to my life, the regularity, getting to see everybody, saying hi, share experiments of growing weed and all that. And I'd like that too. 2026 is going to be a hell of a year. Let's say it that way. Much love back to you, JC Smith. So I will say the one thing I'm excited about personally, if I share a bit of personal things for this Christmas, I think this is the first Christmas, and even though reading the Twas the night before Dankmas and writing certain lines out of the story, and to be fair, realizing a lot of the story needs to be rewritten anyway, because it all kind of reads like crap half the time. Half of it reads great, half of it fucking feels like shit when you say it, isn't it? I think I ran into that tonight reading it. And I was like, oh, I've got to rewrite this cunt. But it was a really genuine enjoyment for myself personally because this is the first Christmas since the separation where I just don't give a fuck anymore. I'm in my new world. I built a whole new world since the origin stories of Twas the Night Before Dankmas. And it was always hard for me to do it after the separation because I was still very connected to that world of how that worked. And every year I struggled. And I'll be like, let's be fair. Was production value great this year? No. Threw it together at last minute. Haven't released content in a while. But it's the first time I didn't feel anything negative or upset or sad. I'll always be sad about the shit that was lost, but this is the first year, guys, where I was like, it's all fucking thing, isn't it? 'Twas the night full Dankmas is the Potsquatches. So fuck that, moving on. New versions of the story, new rituals, new things. And so that was pretty cool. Well, Daniel Andrassy, don't know his content, but it sounds like he meant a lot of things to a lot of people. Puppy's second me on this. And to that, I will say, Adam LeBou, may you rest in peace, and I'm sorry that you passed away. Unless you're an actual evil prick that I don't know, then I'm probably still sad a little bit because, redemption's a thing, but I don't think that's what you were. See, being fucking, democratic, political, covering my ass, just in case. Um, the whole world's ready to get mad at you. And the fact is, I've got a lot of opinions that are going to make people mad already. So, got to be careful. um, Drove reckless, pollen sacks, and I didn't catch getting brown pistols already week 3 to 4. Dude, bro, Roman, I will see that kind of shit on some genetics sometimes too, especially with tent growing, bro. And like that's where like I have witnessed some weird shit or browning and some of these newer genetics or things that come from newer things, man. I do notice this weird browning effect, and I'm sitting here and going like, nothing's different from how I used to do it, but the genetics, the way the plants are reacting, some of these newer things, they are having pistils browning out or nodal sites kind of doing what in my traditional eye of looking at traditional genetics would be like, you are maturing vastly early. To my humble 2 cents, what the fuck is this? So it's weird. I'm thinking if we super cool and try once they're going to flower, dropping the temperatures incrementally and observing that in a controlled environment, we might be able to avoid that. And am I being a stoner and basing that of like watching how I can preserve green things in my chiller? Yeah, I am. 100%. Slow the degradation of death or the chlorophyll and the components. I don't know. Because there is something weird though. I'm seeing this, and especially like growing indoors and like a browning or ripening. I know what you mean. Both in pistils and nodal segments sometimes in certain genetics in this new world. I don't know if I like it. Daniel Andrassy, to those people, I'm not trying to be rude by covering myself politically. But even if Uncle Potsquatch thinks that whom he was full of shit, I would still extend the same love and sympathy and condolences to the people around that human. Because guess what? If we can't remember that we can't get along, wait a minute, I'm fucking this up. If we can't remember that we don't have to necessarily directly get along to get along, though, we can still respect difference of opinion. We don't have to think the same way. We really don't. As long as nobody's causing generic, true harm, shit where like the group consensus of all of us is like, yeah, you shouldn't fucking do that. That's probably fact. Then I think we need to be brave enough to try to all talk again and get along. I don't know. That'd be my wish for the new year for the world. I'd like if the world, not gonna, pressure world peace and anything like that. It's not possible unless you completely rebuild our entire universe and our existence. But I could wish for the fact that maybe in 2026 the world begins to learn to talk to each other again and not be a dick fuck or a dickhead. That's my wish for the world, everyone. Going into Christmas. It's Christmas Eve still here. 7:30 exactly in Vancouver, BC. But that's my goddamn wish. And I'll make a secondary wish that I hope all of you have a wonderful, happy holidays too. What do you think we should grow as the next weed titties? What do you think? I have so many different ideas of like things from the collection. I'm like, let's do this, let's do that. We're definitely going to do a controlled, segmented auto grow and see if we can do anything with this one genetic source in our stores that came from our boy Texas Squatch. And he's asked us to do an experiment and do some tests for him in terms of like poppability, gender, breakdown percentages. Plus, I've never done an auto. So if I find a couple lady plants that I'm like, well, let's rock it, then we will do so. But and I will break rules that I would teach against autos to do this because I will pull them out of a smaller pot and replant them and rock it that way and then use growth hormone to fuck around with the root system, the taproot a bit to give me a sort of a pliability in terms of transition to maximize that rock out in terms of size. It's not like I haven't thought about doing autos, but we'll do that for Texas. But we're gonna pop some other shit. So should we do like some? Should we do a genetic you've seen on the channel before? Because we've got all that shit, most of it. Or should we do something new and rare? I've got like hundreds of things that are random and different weird mixes and shit. We could grow something really, I hate the word, they call it exotic now or exotic genetics or whatever. And I'm like, fuck off. It's just weird and cool. Like stop making it so pretentious when you talk about weed titties. Marijuana is diverse. We've known that the whole time. We don't need to make it this elitist kind of exclusionary way of talking about it. Let's just be like, dude, it's weird as fuck. That's pretty cool. That's the way I look at it. That's the Potsquatch mindset. But what do you think, everybody? Roman is saying, I say pick up some new hip shit. Uh, I don't even know what's hip anymore, man. This is probably going to be the thing. If we do a new hip shit kind of thing, I'll probably grow it and hate it, or I might love it. That could be possible too. But I am also kind of a mildly grumpy curmudgeon. What's hip these days, everybody? Tell me what are the new age children liking marijuana strain wise? Ricky who knew Joe saw 707. Well, I'll have to check it out, man. Um, I mean, I've got a huge thing of collection, and like for me, it's always aging. It's stored well, but I mean, when you've got your bean collection of cool things, you always know it's going to get harder and harder as the years go by to pop them until we develop new techniques to really maximize old genetics popping. But or at least something I can do in my apartment. Maybe we figured that out. I don't know, but I'm down trying new stuff too. At the same time, it's like for me though, as someone who's spent so many years collecting really weird, cool things, but never growing them, it makes me curious to try. Mm, I like that, Roman. Check out some of the newer shit that the kiddos are doing. Be a grumpy old man, grow it out, try it out. Be real and honest about what Posquatch thinks about it. It sounds like fun. It sounds like fun. I might hurt a lot of people's feelings doing that, though, too, because I'm not going to hold back if I don't like it. And I'm an opinionated prick when it comes to weed. I'm always going to be respectful to people, but if I think something's shitty, I'm going to be frank about it. Roman says some blue Zushi type shit or permanent marker cross or some shit. Well, these are definitely referencing things that I'm unaware of because I don't know either of those names and it means fuck all to me. I'm assuming these are new fun things that the kiddos are into. Uh, Daniel Andrassi says, what I've noticed in this new generation doesn't really mess with flower like the older generation slash my generation does. Oh, okay. So Daniel Andrassi, 407, that's a very valid point from a business standpoint. Let's talk about this like smart individuals who have worked or just known, but in industry. The fact is, the true statement is most of the market now, this newer evolving market with legalization spreading around the world, is not a flower smoking reality. Some of them dab, some of them smoke, but like joints or smoking flower is very different than this newer generation in terms of a lot of the legalization that's happening in Canada too. It's different, right? Like when I grew up, I'm from Van City, grew up in Van City, grew up in Van City, BC bud guy. Um, but like it was always flower back in the day. And like this is my happy place, right? Like this is my happy place. I'm a flower guy, like my flower. But everybody's doing their little edible little gummies, the little tinctures, the little sprays, the little vape cartridges, or doing their new fancy dip with the self-contained non-drip vape, thing you can do on the Sky Train and nobody knows. And to be fair, I respect all that Star Trek shit, 100%. Some of it I like. I like buying myself a little vape occasionally. It's good for on the go. It's not the same, but it's cool. Like I don't. It has its use in my life, but at the same time, I'm like, these people don't like flower though. And I mean, to me, maybe I'm just being puritanistic or old school, but it's like loving wee titties, loving rolling a joint or a blunt, hit your bong, hit some flower, man. Some wee titties, bro. Like the craziest I get is like, give me some proper hash. I'll smoke that over flour all day. So maybe that's the new age version of it, right? Like I do love a proper made hash, but it's very hard to get something like that. I can make it for myself, but it's a lot of work. It takes time. So I only do it seldomly because I'm busy. But it's like, I don't know, maybe it's the same thing, but you're not wrong. There's a big transition in the market of because back in the day when it was a flower driven market, you're working ever steadfastly on cranking out the most dank utilities you can. But if oil production or extract production is your main goal, that's where the industry goes. That artisanship, that loving the flower, that growing that perfect weed titty becomes this weird, smaller thing, which it seems to be sometimes. But hey, I think there's enough parts of the pie and different demographics, at least for now, where all loves of the weed titty art can live and exist in terms of business. See, what the funny thing is, Daniel Andrassi, I can smoke hash that way without getting stuck on stupid, as you put it, quote unquote. And I can hit vapes all day because they don't ever really do much to me. Like there's something missing, at least if it's a distillate based vape. And hell, to be fair, even vaping stuff, and it's kind of like hash. Like it doesn't make me get to stupid mode or anxious mode, but flower can do that. Like for me, as the Potsquatch is an aging Potsquatch. I don't smoke as much flower as I used to, but like I smoke it consistently, but like much smaller amounts. I'll like roll a nice good joint. I'll smoke that 3 or 4 times. A little bit here, a little bit there, or a little hoot here on the pipe, or a little hit, on the one hitter or something like that. It's just how I live my balanced aging pot squash lifestyle. Oh, puppies, come here. Well, everyone, it's been a wonderful show. It's been 40 minutes, but I will say that I'm going to let that go because the dogs are going to only get louder. And it's their Christmas Eve too, so I'll go give them some attention and play fetch or something. But my friends, my family, my Potsquatches, Mogwai says, give me a high five. Oh, such a sweetie. But thank you for tuning in to the reading of Twas the Night Before Dankmas of 2025. We will do a rewriting for 2026. And we'll actually do it this time, I think. But we're going to crank out some new content and actually do things for you in the new year. That's going to be a good time. But Merry fucking Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy belated Hanukkah. And all the other different things at this time of the year that different groups enjoy. My fellow humans, my Potsquatches, I wish you a merry all of that shit. And as we do, well, remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plants, love your weed duties. And don't worry, Uncle Potsquatch is still here. Peace and love. Merry fucking Christmas. How do I? Oh, there it is.